What's up, nerds? So you haven't had a new PC in a few years and are looking for a new one. I'll tell you why you should be looking at this HP Spectre 15 Plus. It has a great design, big beautiful 4K resolution screen, and a decent price. I'll give you full details right after this. Now, most of the reviews you see out there are for the gym cut design, which has slightly different specs and design to it. This is not that model. This review is for the non-gym cut model. Now, I look at three factors for a laptop: design and build. How does it look? Is it sleek? Is it sexy? Does it feel sturdy or cheap? Specs and performance. What am I getting for my money? Does it perform well when I need it? Feel. How does it feel using it? How is the keyboard and the trackpad? This is the HP Spectre X360 15t Plus, which is a 2-in-1 convertible that has some gaming capabilities. More on that later. I will have the links to this particular build in the description below for the late 2018, early 2019 model. Let's talk design. At first, I wasn't a fan of the color scheme of the Spectre line, but after having one, I like how it looks. The dark ash gray and gold works well with each other and give it a distinct look. Not the typical gray or silver laptops you see most of the time. Very boring. Now, being a 15-inch screen, this is a pretty hefty for a 2-in-1 that weighs around 4.59 pounds. Not your typical 2-in-1, but given what's packed in here, you can understand why. Let's take a look around the machine. On the right side, we have the HDMI port, 2 Thunderbolt 3 USB-C ports, air vents, fingerprint scanner and the volume rocker. On the left side, we have the power cord port, a USB 3.1 port, power button, air vents, grills, headphone jack, and the SD slot. On the screen, you do have some bezel real estate, which is where the camera, lights, sensors are located. For this 2-in-1, the bezel does have its pluses. So I opted for a 2-in-1 that is able to do some gaming. So this HP has the following specs. It's the 8th generation Intel Core i7-8705 CPU, Radeon RX Vega M graphics with 4 GB of RAM, 15.6-inch 4K IPS WLED backlit touchscreen with Gorilla Glass, 16 GB of DDR4 SD RAM, and a 512 GB M.2 SSD. A 6-cell 84-watt lithium-ion battery. So these are pretty beefy specs for a 2-in-1 at such an affordable price. Let's see how I perform in real-world situations. I can show you some benchmarks, as you can see here, that I ran to show you the performance, but I prefer to talk about how I would use it. I extracted a 30 GB plus file, and I was consistently getting over 105 megabytes per second transfer rate. Not the fastest hard drive speeds you will see, but more than adequate. Rendered a video using Adobe Premiere Pro. It was able to export a 5-minute HD clip in about a few minutes. So definitely useful laptop for rendering videos. Now for gaming, as I mentioned earlier, this HP does have some gaming capabilities as it has a Radeon RX Vega M graphics card. This card is rated as a mid-tier mobile GPU according to notebookcheck.net benchmark. I loaded up Sea of Thieves and gave it a go and was able to play. I had to turn the graphics settings to the lowest to get a decent frame rate. Now, you would not be playing any modern games at full settings, but turning them down will allow you to play. For a 2-in-1, you really can't ask for much more. As stated before, this is a 6-cell 84-watt-hour battery, a huge battery which is needed to support a 15.6-inch 4K screen, and a Radeon RX Vega graphics card. Let's get to the performance. The battery takes about 1 hour to get to a 75% charge, 90 minutes for a 90% charge, and around 2 hours and 10 minutes for a complete charge. When watching YouTube, I was able to get just about less than 5 hours of viewing at 100% brightness. And when watching Netflix, I was able to get around 5.5 hours viewing at about 75% brightness. So for a cross-country flight, you should be able to watch a couple of movies. Now, these are factory default settings. You can modify your power settings to achieve longer battery life. Now, there are different modes for this. As with any 2-in-1, you can use the many modes. Obviously, there's laptop mode, which will get the most use. Then there's tent mode, which I would rarely use and don't see much of a use for it. Stand mode is useful for watching movies and playing games on. And then there's the tablet mode. Now this is very interesting for a 15-inch laptop. At 4.6 pounds, you will get a workout using this mode for a significant time. As I stated earlier, you do have some larger bezels. Now the larger bezels come in handy when in tablet mode. As you hold it, your palms naturally rest on the edges, and as a result, the large bezels, your palms are rejected. In this mode, it will be ideal while you're sitting on the couch or lounging in bed. The HP pen that accompanies this laptop is an active pen and has a decent response when using it. I loaded up Paint 3D and did some quick drawing. Drawing was responsive and felt pretty good. The pen was pretty accurate and I knew where I was drawing thanks to the crosshairs that appeared when the pen was close to the screen. There isn't much tilt detection, if any at all. You pretty much have to have the tip right on the screen before it's recognized. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves with any new PC is the preloaded software. I hate when there's a bunch of bloatware and crap I would never use. In this case, there isn't a lot of excessive software loaded on here. There is McAfee, Netflix, and some HP apps loaded, but that's about it. It's great not to have to spend a lot of time uninstalling all that bloatware that I would never use. Now, being that this is a 5.6-inch laptop, the trackpad is a good size and responsive. It responds very well to light touches, and when you do press it harder, it gives you a feedback. I personally don't like using trackpads, but when I had to use it, it worked just fine. It also has good palm rejection too, so when I'm typing, my palms will not accidentally trigger accidental mouse movements or button clicks. Let's talk about the screen. I stated before, this is a 15.6-inch 4K resolution screen. The screen is really nice and bright, checking in at 340 nits, which is top notch. I had no problems looking at content on here, even at good quality when outside in the sunlight. So you can definitely use this on a bright sunny day. A full-size keyboard with a separate number pad is a huge plus. The keyboard is fully lit with a toggle switch for on and off. I wish there was more options for backlighting. Another annoyance is that when you have the backlight on, it stays on. It doesn't shut off. So that is something you need to keep in mind, especially when running on a battery. A couple of missed opportunities for HP in this category. The keys are a little slippery as they do not have much of a texture to them. For some, this may be ideal as your fingers slide across the keys, but I would like to have had some texture on them. Overall, I didn't have a problem using the keyboard, other than the minor gripes I mentioned. I don't know about you, but I don't buy laptops for their sound quality. With that said, this laptop has 4 Bang & Olufsen speakers, 2 back-mounted and 2 mounted above the keyboard. They work together to offer a very pleasant stereo sound for a laptop. I was easily able to decipher between the left and right sounds. The speakers are actually quite loud and offer a rich sound. Now, you're not going to get deep thumping bass, but you can definitely tell the bass is there. For a laptop, I wouldn't hesitate to use the speakers if you don't have headphones. Overall, I would say I am impressed with this laptop. I like the color scheme and the build quality. It doesn't feel cheap. It has great specs and very affordable as well. I was able to get good performance and features with this laptop. It's not the lightest notebook at 4.6 pounds, so that is something to be mindful of when trying to use it as a tablet. But the specs behind this makes this a serious contender for anyone who is interested in a larger 2-in-1 laptop. I highly recommend it. And that is all I have for you in my review today, folks. I want to thank you for taking the time to check out this video. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button down below. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we put out new videos. Once again, I have been Jamocha. You can follow me on Twitter at SNJamocha. Make sure you follow Sounds Nerdy on Twitter at Sounds Nerdy. Make sure you head over to the website and check that out at sounds30.com. All of our content is posted there as well. We also offer a Sounds Nerdy membership. For our members, it allows you to compete for prizes. We post questions on there. We have little games that we do. So if you want to get in on that fun, make sure you head on over to the website and register for a Sounds Nerdy membership. Once again, I want to thank you for checking out this video. And until the next video, guys, stay nerdy.